last session, but we didn't have too much time, so now we are going to work on it. But I want to show you the project first. I called it Crowdin 101. This is our dashboard. Actually, I added other languages. Let's see, maybe I should refresh it to see the others. And my connection is great again. Come on. It doesn't even refresh. Come on.
That happens to me sometimes when I have snoozing tabs. Maybe you can try
Yeah,
opening.
I intentionally um, canceled all of them. Just 3 here and
Mhm.
2 in Opera. But still, I live in a kind of countryside, let's say. And now it's summertime here, and when people come here for holiday, lots of
Mm.
people do, the amount of people causes the connection to go slower. Probably that's it. Okay. But I don't see the other languages. Actually, I added like a few minutes ago. What? Let me see, like this? No. Okay, I'll check the members now so that I can see if you have already joined the project. Yes, we have Anna, Melesin, Hypolites, and Lauti. Anyone else here? Samuel, did you receive my email? I mean, not my, but from Crowdin. You should have received. Samuel, do you hear me? Nope. Just asking for me. Oh, okay, he's writing. Okay, so if you click on the link, it must have sent you a link. And if you already have a Crowdin account, of course, then you should also be joining the project, and I should be seeing you here so that you can practice with us. Hypolite is writing something. Is it Hypolite? I asked this again, I don't know how many times. Hippolyte. Sorry. Okay. Okay, that's too much bandwidth, right? Got it. All right. So let's see. I hope you already have the project opened right in front of you. So I'll go back to the project one more time on the dashboard. Maybe this time I'll see no, I don't see the languages. I don't know why. Because I added today Pidgin and Yoruba. Let's edit again, and you can also see how I do it. There are lots of Pidgin speakers. So, yeah, I didn't save it the previous time. Sorry. Okay. All right. And we had Yoruba and maybe Japanese. I'm not sure. Eternity was speaking Japanese, but he didn't answer me. But in case he does, maybe he will translate into Japanese. So I'm adding these here. As you see, we have like lots of languages. So anyone, even those people who speak uh, um, rare language, let's say, or accent of another language, can also join these projects here. And I'll save this. Yes, now we should see. Hope. Yes. And Spanish is going 13. I think this is Anna. Okay, so yeah, I'm opening the Turkish one, but you should also open your languages folder. And then we have these folder here. I called it Bidao Dami. But for example, in our IMN account, I had showed you before, but you can have lots of folders. For example, we organize them by months. For each month, we have one folder, and then put the files under it. But this is too much for my, yes, like this. You can say April, December, blah, blah, blah. And you have the folders right behind, right below them. And you can check how much translation is complete from these colors, as you remember, maybe. This blue means translated only. It hasn't been reviewed, and there are still some words here not translated. Oops, sorry. For example, in this one, we have a total of 1,600 words and 1,400 is done, which is translated because it's blue, and there are still 220 words, and none of them are approved, as you see, 0. But for example, this one, yeah, 1,800 words are both translated to be published. So in our case, we have. Sorry, there was a question, I think.
Someone joined and left. No worries.
Ah, okay. All right. So in our case, Spanish has some translated words and Turkish has some translated words. Okay, I'm going with the Turkish one to show you some examples of how to use the platform, but it's too slow. Okay. Yes. So we were talking about how to use this board, let's say, dashboard or a platform, we can say. I'm not sure which to call. Yeah, on the left part, we have the target file, as you see. And these colors also mean something. For example, this yellow is that I translated, but that's all. There is just one translation with no review, with no high watch. I haven't talked about that yet, but I will tell you what it is. So there is just one translation, and that's all. That means this is yellow. These like red ones are the ones that are empty, totally, as you see. So when I come to this one, it's slow. I don't know, the color is a bit different, but it's, yeah, maybe I just have one comment, so it's a bit darker in color because there is no review still. But for example, if I am a reviewer and if I approve this, then we have the green color, which means it's okay. This is ready translated, approved, ready to be published. So how do we translate? We had this simple one, but I want to move to one with some tags. I don't know if you remember, but we had talked about the tags, which are very important here. This one, for example, these little numbers are called tags. And these are used to specify some layout, let's say layout characteristics of the original text. For example, this one we had checked before, but I don't have the original one right now. These are probably links. I mean, in the original Bankless web page, I took this from there. When you go over this sentence, you can click on it and that takes you to a link. So in order to have that link in your target file, we have to use this too also in our translation so that we don't lose the link. So each time doing this is a way to do it, but we can confuse or we can forget. So what I generally do is I copy the entire text as is, like the original, and then translate on this. And don't touch the text, just translate what is inside, which is in Turkish. And this one, okay, so that I have the text in place and I don't risk losing those links. So this is one way to do it. But if you want, for example, sometimes you have a very, very long sentence, like 6, 8 lines. So you don't want to copy all of it. In that case, you can use them like, oh, what happened? What happened? Sorry, I don't know what happened. In the meantime, do you have any questions? I mean, you didn't see many things yet, but okay, yeah, we are back here. Yes. For example, this is a long paragraph maybe, and you don't want to copy the entire source. So what you can do is you start fresh and do your translation. Then when you come to the tag part, you just click on the first one and do the inside of it, and then click again, and then you continue and click one by one, and there you go. Again, you have all the text. So there are two ways to do it. You can choose whatever you like, but I forget about them all the time. So I mostly translate by copying the source, entire source, so that I don't forget them. But just imagine that you are like me and you forgot. What happens in that case? I forgot the fourth one, let's say. When I say save, it should be warning me. Let's see. Yes. This is a built-in QA control, actually QA, what to call it, I don't know, the QA part of the platform. Whenever there is something wrong with the layout, with the, for example, there's some number missing, or there's a capitalization problem, there's a spelling problem, whatever. If there's something wrong with the text, when we click save, it always warns us. But sometimes these are false warnings, not this one, but most of the time, actually, they are false warnings, so you may not see them very you may not take them seriously, but actually we should, because, for example, this is a important mistake I was about to do. So it warned me, and I come here and I close my tag and go on. Yeah, for example, the second one. First letters in the source text and translation have a different case. This is mostly a true issue, but sometimes, for example, the order of the words change, and if the name of a platform or the name of a, I don't know, restaurant, whatever, it intentionally starts with a different case. But when you come to the beginning of the sentence, it warns us. So sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. So we have these options. We have autofix. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it made it bigger. And these three non-breaking spaces are mostly false. So I will just say save anyway. And yeah. Okay, it says your translation will not be included in the translated file. Okay, why is that? Why isn't my translation? I had already approved the previous translation. So it says, okay, you have done this and it has been approved. So we are not going to add your new translation. It warns me. So in this case, if I want to change my previous translation, I can just take my approval back. I can remove my approval and then come back here and approve this one. But of course, this is what I can do because I own the project. Normally, as a translator, you don't have those approval options unless the owner of the project grants you those accesses. But normally, yeah, I was going to show that one to you. Just a moment. Probably in your platform, you must have a voting mechanism instead of approvals. This is my personal account. Is everyone here? Yeah. Any questions, by the way? At the same time, you can try using the platform in your own language so that you understand better. Yeah, so this is my own account, and I'm not a project owner here. I'm just a translator. So when you're just a translator, you don't have approval or reviewer permissions, but you have the right to vote for a translation. For example, this is Ethereum org translation page, and as you see, yeah, the green part is already translated, but the red part hasn't been translated yet. But before doing my translation, I can prefer to read this part. And while I'm reading, for example, this title, we'll see the translation right now, if my connection allows. Come on. Okay, yes. So as you see, we have these very important information here. In our dummy platform, dummy project, we didn't have these options because we don't have any translations yet. But normally, in a long-term project, you have lots of options. For example, let's see this one. What information I have here? When you look at here, it's Turkish translation, and this is the translator. Someone called Truth Deal translated this sentence a month ago. And when we come here as a translator, I have this voting mechanism for the translations. So if I click on upvote, it means I like the translation. If I click on downvote, it means it needs improvements, and I don't approve this translation as a translator only. So if one of, for example, I want to right now, but normally if I don't like something, and for example, I want to change just one word, if I do something like this and save this, there is going to be another translation here, and it will write ilk a few seconds ago, whatever. So sometimes in some cases we have like 5 options, for example. 5 different people come and suggest different translations. And in our case, actually, it can happen with Pigeon because we have lots of Pigeon speakers. So one of them might translate something, and the other one might suggest another translation, and another third one might suggest another one. In that case, you are not totally, let's say, passive on viewing that quality of the translation. You can come here and upload or download the translation you like. And what happens after that? Uh, as you see, we have TM suggestions here. Do you remember TM, guys? Okay, this is a small quiz for you. Do you remember what TM was? Yeah. No. Okay. Okay. TM is actually the foundation of this translation tool. TM is the abbreviation of translation memory, and each sentence we translate here goes to the TM. It records it, and when we translate something else that has a match with that sentence, which means they can have like one word or there can be like 100 match, which is the same sentence basically. So when we come across another sentence like that, the TM shows me the previous translation so that I don't translate the whole sentence from scratch, but I just do the corrections, do the changes, necessary changes. So TM is what this whole thing is based on. And when I go back here, so these suggestions here are very important. These 3 ones, for example, they all come from TM. As you see, this is from a year ago. Yeah, both 3 of them are from a year ago. So these are very important. This is what we base our translations on. So when a translation is upvoted or downvoted, the order of those translations change. For example, if 5 people upvote one translation and just one person upvotes another translation, the most upvoted one will appear at the top, and the least upvoted one or the most downvoted one will appear at the bottom. So it makes a kind of order for us to better decide on which translation to choose. And what else do we have? We just have TM suggestions here, but normally if an MT is machine translation. If a translation engine like Google, like DeepL, like there are hundreds of them now, if an engine is connected to the platform, then we can also see those suggestions. See if we have something like that. Not, guess not. Okay, there's a very good example of comment here, so at least I can show you that one. So we have this comment part here. I told you in the last session, but we didn't have enough time to talk about it. For example, while I'm translating or while I'm reviewing, mostly reviewing, you need the comments more because you might have to ask some questions to the translator or do some comments, make some comments. In that case, we use this platform that's very, very useful, but I'm going to show that example in ours. so that we don't comment on people's translations on Ethereum. Uh, let's see. We have, I think, Anna's translation here. So I will make a comment on Anna's translation. Yeah, as the project owner, I'm checking the project, the translations, and when I come to Spanish, yes. Oh, yeah, the example we were looking for is here because Crowdin has its own built-in AI translator here, as you see, Crowdin Translate. These are the suggestions of machine translation. Is there a question? Yes, thank you, Anna. So I saw that I saw Anna's translation, and I want to ask Anna something. So I just come here to this part, to the lower right part of the screen, and I just tag Anna. As you see, she's a member, so I can just see her. And then I say, very great translation. By the way, Anna, I'm learning Spanish. I will need it. And then I can choose one of these options if that's an issue, if I'm asking a general question or if the translation is wrong or whatever. Or she can also, as a project owner, she might ask for example, screenshot. We were translating Juicebox DAO's interface, and the very common problem we had while translating were the screenshots, because when you're translating an interface of an app or a web page, you should know where that button is. You should know what comes after some verb. So you generally need the screenshots to make a correct translation. In that case, for example, we were tagging the project owner, the translation coordinator, and for example, I can say lack of contextual information, and I can say, okay, please send a screenshot, something like this, and then I just click on it. Anna receives a notification in her email so that she can see and answer us, and she can answer me. And then if everything is fine, we have resolved the issue, I can just come here and say resolved, and then it's gone. And what else? I wanted to also show you, for example, we don't always have the same sentence in the TM, but as you see, when I come on this, it says previously translated as. We have these options, which is great. And also, we might connect a kind of glossary to these projects we have here in IMN. Are you trying to work on it, by the way? I hope
What
you
do you
do.
mean?
I mean, if your screen is on and maybe you're trying to, I'm showing some things and you might try them yourselves and see if you have any questions.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, great, thank you. Yeah, for example, I want to show you an example of, yes. This one, as you see, there are little lines, let's say, under the words. These are from our glossary. We had a glossary project in IMN, actually Translators Guild, I guess. So actually most of the languages have a kind of glossary. We can just attach the glossary from our uh, dashboard of the project, you have an option. And when you attach the glossary, you have this little tips, let's say. When you hover on the word, it shows you what is used in the glossary. You can always click on it. No, sorry, on this one. Oh, not this one, sorry. For example, this. Yes, okay. I can create a term. Yeah, let's look at these options one by one. For example, if I don't have this word in the glossary, I can click on it, double click, and I can say search TM, which is very, very useful. This is what improves consistency in all our projects, because you don't have to use another word for the terms that are already in the glossary. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, let's say. You just look for them in your TM, and as you see, from 5 hours ago, 2 months ago, 5 months ago, whatever. So we have lots of options here. By this way, you don't risk using different words for the same term. And what else? When I, again, click on it, double click on it, I launched this one. We discovered this in our very first session. I didn't even know that we could use this. I mean, you don't have to you don't have to open another tab and search for your term in Wikipedia. You can click on this, and here you go. We have project glossary results, and also we should have wiki. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, okay. This is dextroamphetamine. It's not that one, but still it tried. This is Wikipedia option. So probably Dex is not still in Wikipedia, but let's look for an easier one. Yeah, when I search for project, yeah, first we have the project glossary options. And then, as you see, we have Wikipedia options. Project, we see the entire definition. This is the origin of it. And there are some words that are built using project management, project Gemini, blah, blah. This is very, very useful, I think. I mean, it shortens the time you spend for searching a term. Of course, Wikipedia is not the best place to look for them, but still, I mean, not in the especially not in the crypto translations, but in normal translations, you can find many things just by looking at Wikipedia. And what else do we have? For example, we don't have this term in glossary. I can just click on this and add the term into my glossary. Like, here is the English term, and I write the Turkish term here, and then I say add term. So next time when I look at a sentence with week in it, I just hover on the week and I see the translation. And what else? Yeah, we have copy and paste options. But these are especially this search TM is very, very key, because we normally call these concordance search in typical cat tools. And it is very commonly used. It's one of the mostly used characteristics, features, let's say. So whenever you want to be sure that everyone uses the same thing in your team for a specific word, you can just use this option. Any questions do you have, guys? Yeah, Colada, I think it's being recorded, by the way. Okay, and this part is now used for the TM and Wikipedia, blah, blah, blah. But when I want to come back to the comments part, I just click on the very top right option. And apart from this, actually, I don't have too many different scenarios right now. I was expecting you to use with me so that if you have any issues with using something or any questions, like how to do that, how to do this, I would very like to answer those questions, but I'm not sure if you're using right now.
Yes, I was actually able to create a term for the translation
Okay.
memory, and I didn't know how to do it, so thank you.
Yeah, great, great. Great to see that you can use the options, the features for for speeding up and making more quality, making more consistent translations. This, I mean, now when I tell these like that, like this is like a bit like a story, but when you use them, when you use these options, they are very, very useful and they save you lots of time and energy and also provides you quality, consistency. So they are very important. And if you don't have any more questions, uh, yeah, we can just finish this session and maybe you can try at home. You can do your translations at home. And if you have further questions when you finish, when you try, we can also talk about them. I think you can DM me anytime. Or if there are some common questions asked, we can do another session to talk about them. And now that we have uh, almost completed the practice session, we can, I think, start with the Ethereum org bounties so that you also have the option to use these features. And then we see. So if you don't have any questions or any comments, I'll finish the session so that we have like 10 minutes before the role holders meeting. But if you have questions, please
No,
do
thank
ask.
you, Ilk. Not on my part.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't have any question as well. Thank you, Ilk.
you're very welcome. Okay, then see you in 10 minutes in Alphabet Soup. And as I said, if you have any further questions, anytime you can DM me. Thank you for joining, guys.